Hello students, welcome back to my channel. Today I will discuss about genetics. This is the first lesson of this topic and this topic is common for students from all the boards. So let's start the lesson. Now whenever a child is born, the family members usually start comparing his appearance as to whom he or she resembles more. All this, although this is a matter of chance, but this is governed by certain laws. And so as to understand these laws, first we have to understand what is genetics. Now genetics is the study of transmission of some body features or some body characters, both the similar characters and the differences from parents to offspring and the laws relating to such transmission. That means there are certain features or characteristics, those are transmitted from parents to offspring, and genetics is the study of such transmission. Gregor Mendel is known as father of genetics. Gregor Mendel had his early education in a monastery and later he studied science and mathematics at the University of Vienna. He wanted to be a teacher but luck didn't favor him and he failed in the examination of teaching certificate. But later on, he became the father of genetics. I will discuss about Gregor Mendel in some other video. So first, let's see what is heredity. Heredity, the term means the transmission of the genetically based characteristics from parents to offspring. That is, the transmission that occurs from the transmission of what? Transmission of characteristics that occurs from parents to offspring. That transmission we will call it as heredity. Like for example, a cat will produce a cat, right? It will not produce a dog. Similarly, a mango seed will germinate into a mango tree, not an apple tree. And humans will give birth only to humans and obviously not to monkeys. Right? So this is the heredity. That means the individuals give birth to or produce a similar kind of organism. Right? But there are certain variations, like within the race or the tribe or within the same population, that we can call a family. Let's consider it as a family. Even within the same population or same family, the two individuals are not totally similar. That means not 100%. They are not totally similar. There are certain differences that are present among the individuals present in a population. And those small differences that are present among the individuals, those are called variations. Okay. Now, so as to understand genetics properly, we have to read two terms. One is the character and another is the trait. These two terms are very important. See, any heritable feature, that means any character or any feature that can be herited or inherited, that can be transmitted from parents to offspring, that particular heritable feature we will call it as character. And the alternative forms of a character are called traits. Okay, let's see some examples. Like color of the eyes. Color of the eyes is a character because this color of the eyes can be transmitted from parents to offspring. And what are the traits? There are two forms of the color of the eye. One, color can be brown or eye color can be blue. So the character is the eye color and the two options that we have or the two forms of eye color, that are the traits. Similarly, hair shape is a character. It can be transmitted from parents to offspring. But what type of hair or what type of shape of the hair? Either the hair can be curly or straight. These two are the traits. Eyebrows is a character. Eyebrows can be heavy, bushy or thin. Tongue rolling is a character. A person can either roll his or her tongue into U shape when extended out from the mouth, or the person cannot roll his or her tongue, right? So these are the two traits. Either he can roll the tongue or he can't. Next, earlobe. It's a character. But either the earlobe can be free
or it can be attached. Similarly, lips is the character. Lips can be thick or thin. So these are the basic differences between the character and the trait. The heritable feature is the character and the alternative forms of that particular feature are the traits. Clear? Now, I have already told you in my previous video that chromosomes are actually responsible for the heredity. They are the carriers of heredity. Now, chromosome number is constant for the individuals of a species, and each body cell has the same number of chromosomes that we have already seen in the topic cell division, right? But chromosome number is different for different species. For example, you already know that humans have 46 chromosomes. But in case of onion, 16 chromosomes are present. Or if you take an example like in tiger, 38 chromosomes are present. In tiger, in domestic cat, in lion, in all these three species, 38 chromosomes are present. Whereas on the other hand, in case of dog, 78 chromosomes are present. Okay, so depending upon the species, the chromosome number changes. So it varies from species to species. Now we have to know what are the homologous chromosomes. Homologous chromosomes are a pair of chromosomes. Those two chromosomes will have same shape and same size, and those two chromosomes will be, each one of them will be from one parent. That means homologous chromosomes are the two chromosomes. Suppose these are the two chromosomes. Okay, if these two chromosomes, if we are calling these two chromosomes as homologous chromosome, that means these two chromosomes have same shape and same size, and one chromosome is from mother and another chromosome is from father. Okay, so this type of chromosome we will call it as homologous chromosomes. And chromosomes are of two types, autosomes and sex chromosomes, or these are also known as allosomes. Okay, autosomes means these chromosomes are present in somatic cells or in body cells. Okay, they are the usual. And sex chromosomes, they are the, or known as the allosomes. So out of the 23 pairs of chromosomes, 22 pairs are the autosomes, and only one pair of chromosome is the sex chromosome or allosome. This one pair consists of two chromosomes, X and Y. These two are the chromosomes that are known as the sex chromosomes. Now, in female, we find both X and X. In female, this pair of sex chromosome is present, and in male, X and Y. This particular pair of sex chromosome is present in case of male, and in female, XX chromosome is present. So, in female, two X chromosomes are present, and in male, one X chromosome and one Y chromosome is present. Clear? Now, if we see the sex determination in a child or in an offspring, whether the offspring will become son or daughter, who will be the determinant? See, if we look at this picture, this is male and this is the female. That means this is the father and this is the mother. This is the ovary of the mother containing X and X chromosome. So after meiosis, what will happen? Egg will form containing X, because mother has two X chromosomes, so it will contain only X, no Y will be present. And if you look at male, then in testes, X and Y, those two sex chromosomes are present, and after meiosis, sperm will produce. So either the sperm will contain one X chromosome or it will contain one Y chromosome. Both the options are there. Now, but for egg, for an ovum, the option is only one. It will contain only one X chromosome. No Y chromosome will be present, right? So, when this ovum or when this egg will be fertilized by a sperm containing X chromosome, then it will form daughter or a female offspring. And when this particular ovum will be fertilized by a sperm containing Y chromosome, then it will form a male child. Because whether an offspring will contain both X chromosome or an one X or one Y chromosome, this will be totally dependent on the sperm. That means the sex of an offspring will be determined by its father, not mother. Because father has two sex chromosomes, X and Y. So the sperm containing that particular X chromosome or Y chromosome, when it will fertilize an ovum, then it will be the determinant of the sex of the offspring. Because female or the mother's egg contain only X chromosome, no Y. So there is no chance of becoming a boy. But when a sperm containing Y chromosome, it fertilizes an ovum, then it is contributing one Y chromosome to the offspring. Then the offspring becomes a male. And when the sperm contributes X to the ovum, then it is contributing another X chromosome to the ovum. Okay? Then the offspring is becoming female. Okay? Clear? So if a question comes that show how a father determines the sex of an offspring, then you have to show this checkerboard. Okay? And by this you have to explain. I think I have made myself clear. And so this is all for this lesson. I will upload a new video very soon. Till then, stay tuned to my channel. And if you think my videos are informative and helpful, then please like and share my videos. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching the video.